You know, I took some time to really sit down and think about all of the antagonists throughout the Dragon Ball series. Main reason was because I was, influenced by the Can Blank Beat Goku series that I've been doing. But when I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about how they came into the series, how they held their own, and how they ultimately met their demise, I was also thinking about their motives and their choices as to why they were doing this. With Frieza, it was all about the domination of the universe. He felt from birth that he was entitled to a world, to an entire universe of many different planets and people and its resources as a whole. So when he saw this element of resistance from the Saiyans, of course he didn't like it. In fact, he had his fun with them up until he saw them to be obsolete and eradicated them. Cell was created with the absolute intention of just being a perfect being. He felt like he was the perfect organism, and I feel like had Gohan not gotten in the way, he probably would have planned an entire invasion of maybe copies of cells or whatever the hell. All in all, he met his demise too. He was shown from an imperfect person that there is no such thing as perfection after all. And when I think about Kid Buu was just made with evil intentions. A lot of people have wrote Kid Buu off to be just a trash villain, and I can understand the opinion and the perspective on that. I get that. A lot of people, when it comes to them looking into different medias, they want their antagonists to have some sense of purpose and direction. So I get that. But Kid Buu simply was just a mindless creature who didn't know any better and was made with evil intentions from the Wizard Bibbidi. So thinking throughout all the villains from the Z era, Frieza is my favorite. I do like the idea of someone feeling entitled to an entire world, an entire universe, and just to be met with the lowest, or what he saw to be the lowest race ever, which was Goku. I bring up Goku because Goku had a very interesting place in each person's life.
Are you sure, Dad?
This might sound crazy, but well, you are the real Goku, aren't you? You're so strong.
Goku, wait! Krillin's right. He's become so much more powerful than he was on Earth that it's almost hard to believe he's the same person.
When it came to Frieza, Goku was the most unexpected thing to live up to the absolute legend. Rather, the presence of this legend that ended Frieza. He didn't see that coming. No one saw that coming. But it is, to this day, I feel, the greatest anime moment of all time. It showed that somebody who had no advantages, had some advantages, obviously, but you know what I mean, in regards to class, had no advantages. And Frieza definitely showed Goku a couple of tricks that he wasn't ready for either. It's not like Goku showed up and absolutely saved the day. It took every single person possible to end the likes of Frieza. Frieza's definitely the most interesting villain in my eyes. But somebody that's even more interesting than Frieza is actually Zamasu.
My form is justice, and my form is the world. Worship me, give praise unto me, me, the beautiful, the sublime, me, the invincible, the almighty and divine. All hail Zamasu.
Zamasu, aka Goku Black. Dragon Ball Super, my opinion of Dragon Ball Super will never change. Dragon Ball Super is terrible. From start to finish, it's pretty rough, but there are a lot of gems within that heaping pile of shit. One particular gem is not the entirety, maybe I'd say about 80% of the Future Trunks arc. I absolutely loved it. From the promotional poster to keeping up with every single episode week after week, like I was such a nerd for it. I was telling everybody about it, including my parents. I loved it. I really did. But this is coming from the perspective of 15, 16-year-old me. So I mean, it was a little geeky kid, whatever. But I just loved the arc through and through. Like, I love how Trunks had to battle with so many different emotions and conflicting scenarios throughout that arc. I really do love Goku and Vegeta's placement in the arc as well. It's because they are main characters, obviously, but they almost feel like they're a part of the story rather than being the story itself, if that makes sense. Like in other arcs where I see Goku kind of take on somebody like Jiren or somebody like Hit, Vegeta take on somebody like Frieza or Broly or whatever, you almost just kind of see it as what we already know, what we're used to. But in the Future Trunks arc, with Trunks being such a pivotal role and really being the driving protagonist for the arc itself, I find it so interesting, and how he clashes with his absolute fear that is Goku Black.
You feeling better now?
You can do it, Trunks. Just shake it off. What's wrong? You look terrified. You bastard! I'll make you pay!
And then going back to Goku Black, Zamasu, very, very, very interesting antagonists. This is somebody who is dealing with so many conflictions and internal demons as a nutshell, one of which is most definitely pride. Zamasu is a very prideful enemy, a very prideful individual. And he didn't want anybody to take that from him. He, as somebody that was going to be the next Supreme Kai, he felt like he was almost an unstoppable individual, an unstoppable being. And then, lo and behold, it's Goku again who shows up and proves him wrong by going Super Saiyan 2. They spar a little bit, he knocks him on his ass. Zamasu keeps that in his mind, though. It's a simple sparring match to Goku. It's a lighthearted fun, even to somebody like Beerus and Whis. Very lighthearted. But Zamasu's the only one who's angry. It's an anger that starts, but it builds more and more and more the more he talks with Goku and even interacts with him. But eventually, that anger, that deep anger, it spreads farther past Goku. It spreads to an entire species as a whole.
They take what they want by savage force. Their so-called society is based on nothing else. They possess neither justice nor order. They were gifted with life, brains capable of wisdom, yet they waste it completely.
Zamasu grows to spite humanity due to how he feels they are ignorant and hopeless. Here's the thing though. This becomes so much of a malicious resentment that he walks a very dark path. He goes from simply just hating these creatures, hating humanity, to wanting to see the entire world of them burn. Zamasu wanted to see the very end of an entire civilization, an entire people, all because of where his hate and resentment started. It came from one person, but this hate devolved to billions, trillions, because it was any and all mortal creatures. But I think Zamasu gets to a point to where he feels for him to accomplish something like this, he would need strength. And he takes it upon himself to go on a bit of a journey. He collects all of the Super Dragon Balls. And Shenron shows up. And he asks Shenron to switch bodies with a mortal named Son Goku. And then he goes and begins his justice. This is such an interesting origin, an interesting beginning for a villain, you know? And it's like this is why I consider it such a gem, because it's surrounded by a lot of Dragon Ball Super, and that's not really a good thing, because Dragon Ball Super just has this almost trend of not really being good. It has a lot of cool elements and it has a lot of cool characters, but it doesn't really know how to use them in a more effective way, because there is a trend, and it's a simple trend that they keep running with, and it clouds the element of story. You're watching it for a different element, which is the fighting and the action and the colorful transformations. But you look at something like this, and this is an origin that, tweaked up with a couple of elements here and there, could be used for like movie material. I'd watch if the Goku Black arc was like a movie and it was like redone. It could be a very excellent film, in my personal opinion. I feel like Zamasu being the antagonist would be perfect. It just would be perfect. So then Goku Black, he begins his absolute destruction. He's going from city to city. He's burning everything to the ground. Everything's falling apart. People are dying left and right. Resistances are forming, and they're dying and meeting their end as they're forming. It's bad. It's really bad. He's taking over, and he's taking over fast. Trunks being there, he clashes with Goku Black on a couple of occasions, and he never wins. And this is a Trunks that's post-Android Saga, post-Majin Buu Saga. He has gotten far stronger, unlocked Super Saiyan 2 and everything, and he still was not enough. He stood no chance. So he went from fighting with Goku Black to avoiding Goku Black to running away from Goku Black. He became the very thing that started to live in Trunks' mind. Everywhere he went, as he's dreaming moments of peace, Goku Black is always there in his mind, ready to meet him, ready to end him. Goku Black's presence became iconic. This is why I say Goku Black is easily the coolest villain. I have even said everything that's cool about him. There's so much that goes into this character that they play with and that they use. It's actually pretty excellent. I just wish it was told in a better light. You have the material in your hands, but this character, he can be far more than you even want him to be. And he proved that in several instances, because in my personal opinion, from any villain in the Dragon Ball Z universe, I think Goku Black has the best introduction to a Dragon Ball Z arc ever. Trunks is on the run, and he's running away from this dark, mysterious cloud with red eyes following him. Left and right, you're seeing everything behind him burn. Eventually, the people that he's running with, the people that are trying to survive with him, they lose their footing, seemingly dying in front of his eyes. As Trunks tries to push and he gets pushed back once again, the clouds clear. He starts talking, and you see him standing on top of a building as everything's burning. Bro, I love it. 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 Goku Black, in my personal opinion, man, he's just one of the coolest villains. He really is. And the origin itself of how Zamasu starts and goes down this dark path is so good, man. It's really good. It's very good. I think for Dragon Ball Super, they were definitely, I'd say this, for Dragon Ball Z origin story wise, they were definitely in their creative bag with that one. And I being a fan of the franchise, I can appreciate something like that. So thank you guys for listening to this. I just wanted to sit down and kind of just express my authentic feelings in regards to just Dragon Ball Super as a whole, Goku Black, and even Dragon Ball Z as well. I am a fan of the franchise, and I do think there were areas where things could have been better, or just left alone, or where things were just bad. It just could have been good, So that's all I wanted to do today. But make sure to go down, like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.